Good morning, students. Welcome to you in MSc Botany class. I myself, Dr. Vasantarao B. Kadam, Associate Professor, Department of Botany, KTHM College, Nasik. I have completed my MSc and PhD in Botany, specialty in plant physiology. I am a research guide for MPhil and PhD in the subject of botany and environmental science of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, and Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. I have published 145 research papers in various national and international journals having good impact factors. I also published 10 books for UG, PG, and research students. 4 students are completed PhD and 4 students are working for PhD under my guidance. Students, I am going to teach you the theory paper number 3, plant physiology. Now, we are going to learn the chapter photosynthesis. When you get hungry, you grab a snack from your fridge or pantry. But what can plants do when they get hungry? You are probably aware that plants need sunlight, water, and a home like soil to grow. But where do they get their food? They make it themselves. Plants are called autotrophs because they can use energy from light to synthesize or make their own food source. Many people believe that they are feeding a plant when they put it in soil, water it, or place it outside in the sun. But none of these things are considered food. Rather, plants use sunlight, water, and the gases in the air to make glucose, which is a form of sugar that plants need to survive. This process is called photosynthesis and is performed by all plants, algae, and even some microorganisms. To perform photosynthesis, plants need some things: carbon dioxide, water, photosynthetic pigments, and sunlight. Now, definition of photosynthesis. Photon means light, synthesis means putting together. It is the most important anabolic process on earth by which green plants, that means autotrophic organisms, synthesize complex carbohydrates and evolve molecular oxygen. from simple substance like carbon dioxide and water with the help of light energy. Thus, the photosynthetic phenomenon is one of the most important metabolic process for providing food supply to the biological world and purifying the atmospheric air by consuming carbon dioxide and evolving oxygen. The process of photosynthesis can also be defined as the transformation of photonic energy, that means light or radiant energy, into chemical energy by the green part of plants. Now students, one more definition of photosynthesis is synthesis of food materials by the green cells of plants in presence of sunlight with the help of carbon dioxide and water is known as photosynthesis. Some importance of photosynthesis. Now first, the process of photosynthesis consumes atmospheric carbon dioxide and yield carbohydrates and molecular oxygen. Number two, all green plants are called producer because they synthesize organic food material for living organism. The animals and heterotrophic plants depends directly or indirectly on producer plants for their requirement of organic food. Number three, photosynthesis is the only natural process that evolves molecular oxygen for use by other living organisms. It also maintains the level of atmospheric oxygen, which is continuously consumed by plants and animals during respiration. Number fourth, the carbohydrates produced during photosynthesis are used by plants and animals to synthesize organic acid, proteins, fats, nucleic acids, hormones, pigments, vitamins, alkaloids, and other metabolites. Number 5. In addition to organic food, plants yield fodder, fiberwood, timber, fibers, rubber, resins, oils, and many other indirect products of photosynthesis. And number 6. Photosynthesis consumes atmospheric carbon dioxide, which is being continuously added by the respiration of organisms and burning of organic fuels. Thus, this process acts as purifier of atmosphere. History of photosynthesis or developmental process of photosynthesis or the journey of photosynthesis. Now, the various scientists worked on photosynthesis. Now, Aristotle and Theophrastus in 320 BC believed that plants absorb all their nourishments, inorganic and organic, directly from the soil. Now, Van Helmont in 1948 discovered by his experiment that dry weight of plant increase due to water absorbed by them and not due to soil. Woodward in 1699 concluded by his experiment that dry weight of plant increases due to water as well as soil. Joseph Priestley in 1779 concluded by his experiment that green plants purify air during the day in presence of light. Jean Senebier in 1782 proved that green plants absorb carbon dioxide and release O2 in presence of light. Pelletier and Caventon in 1880 discovered and named the green pigment chlorophyll. Dutrechet in 1837 showed the importance of green pigment chlorophyll in photosynthesis. Liebig in 1845 indicated that main source of carbon in plants is carbohydrates. Von Meyer in 1845 proposed that green plants transform light energy into chemical energy of organic matter. Julius von Sachs in 1862 demonstrated that first visible product of photosynthesis is starch. Engelmann in 1884 to 1888 discovered the chloroplast was the seat of photosynthesis in the cell and discovered the role of different wavelength of light on photosynthesis. Blackman 1905 discovered the light and dark reaction in photosynthesis. Hitz in 1930 observed grana part of chloroplast where pigments were concentrated. Van Niel in 1931 demonstrated that some bacteria use H2S instead of H2O in the process of photosynthesis. Robert Hill in 1937 performed experiments and demonstrated that the main function of chloroplast is to photooxidation of water, that means Hill's reactions. Melvin Kelvin in 1954 used chlorella as an experimental material, discovered first stable product of photosynthesis, that means photoglyceric acid or phosphoglyceric acid. Emerson, Chalmers and Sederstant in 1957 discovered Emerson's effect. Now this Emerson effect is based on the alternate wavelength of light. Hills and Pandel in 1960 proposed Z scheme and suggested that two photosystems operate in photosynthesis, that means cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Korchaks in 1965 discovered the formation of C4 dicarboxylic acid in sugarcane leaves, and Hatch-Slacks in 1966 traced C4 cycle for CO2 fixation in certain tropical grasses. Now, are some scientists are working on the various parameters of photosynthesis. Now the pictures of scientists, those who are participated in the discovery of photosynthesis. Now the complete process of photosynthesis requires various four things: photosynthetic pigments, it contains chlorophyll, carotenoids and phycobilins. Photosynthetic pigments are present in green cells of plants. Number 2, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide enter into the leaf through open stomata from outside the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is the source of carbon. Number 3, water. Water comes through roots from the soil. And next, sunlight. Light emits the different wavelength of lights. The visible wavelength of light, that means 400 to 700 nanometer of light. It contained 7 various colors, and that visible light is used for the process of photosynthesis. Now, for the formation of one molecule of glucose, 6 number of carbon dioxides, 6 number of water molecules, some light energy, convert one molecule of glucose, and 6 molecules of oxygen evolved in the atmosphere. An overview of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which autotrophic organisms use light energy to make sugar and oxygen gas from carbon dioxide and water. Now, in leaf, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide enter into the open stomata. 6 molecules of water, it comes through roots from the soil. Light energy, it comes through sunlight. And now carbon dioxide, water and sunlight makes the one molecule of glucose plus 6 molecules of oxygen. Now oxygen released towards the atmosphere through open stomata. Now chloroplast. Now the various pigments are present in chloroplast. Chloroplasts are self-duplicating cellular organelles where the complete photosynthesis occurs. They exhibit a certain degree of functional autonomy. That means they are semi-autonomous. They undergo diffusion and contain genetic information. For this reason, Chip in 1982 stated that the chloroplast was once an independent cell which was taken into the interior of another cell as an endosymbiont. Chloroplast occurs in the cytoplasm of all green cells of plants except autotrophic prokaryotes. Generally, they are found in mesophyll and palisade cells of angiosperm, gymnosperm, pteridophytes, and vegetative green cell of lower plants. And average fresh chloroplasts contain about 50% water, 25% protein, 15% lipid, and 10% pigments. The chemical composition of chloroplast excluding water shows 50 to 60% protein, 21 to 30% phospholipid, 5 to 8% chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, 0.7% carotenoids, 1.75% RNA, and 0.02 to 1% DNA. The protein fraction of chloroplast is associated with magnesium, iron, and copper atom. Now, this is the microscopic picture of chloroplast. This is The figure of chloroplast having thylakoids, lamellae, ribosomes, stroma, drops of lipids, inner membrane, outer membrane, and inner membrane space between outer and inner membrane, chloroplast DNA, starch granules, and grana. Now, the absorption of light occurs in the thylakoids, that means grana portion of the chloroplast. That means light reactions, light phase of photosynthesis or initial phase of photosynthesis occurs in grana portion, and dark phase of photosynthesis occurs in this stroma portion. Now, photosynthetic pigments, there are three different categories of photosynthetic pigments. The light energy must be absorbed by some pigments before it carries photochemical acts in photosynthesis. In chloroplast, a wide range of pigments are present, which constitutes more than 5% of total dry weight of chloroplast. All these pigments absorb visible light due to presence of conjugated double bonds in their structure and thus are colored. There are three categories of photosynthetic pigment present in plants: chlorophyll, insoluble in water; carotenoids, insoluble in water. Now, carotenoids are of two types: carotenes and carotenoids, that means xanthophylls. And number three pigment is phycobilins. It is soluble in water. Only one pigment is soluble in water, and it is phycobilins. Phycobilins are also two types: phycoerythrin and phycocyanin. Now, students, we learn one by one the various pigments. Now, first, chlorophyll. A whole series of 10 different chlorophylls is known: chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E, bacteriochlorophylls A, B, C, D, and E, and bacteriopyridine. Of all, only two types, that means chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, are widely distributed in green algae and higher plants. The basic structure of all chlorophyll molecules is a porphyrin system in which four pyrrole rings linked together by methane group form a ring system. The center of tetrapyrrole is occupied by a divalent magnesium, which is complex with the nitrogen atom of the four pyrrole rings. Each chlorophyll has a fifth ring containing only carbon atom. The major portion of chlorophyll A is present in pigment system first, and the major portion of chlorophyll B is present in pigment system second. Now, the number two photosynthetic pigment is carotenoid. Carotenoids, with no exceptions, are known as present in close association of chlorophylls in all photosynthesizing cells. Most of the carotenoids are yellow or orange in color, found as chromoprotein in thylakoid. In general, there are two major groups of carotenoids, the carotene and carotenol, that means xanthophylls. Both of them are soluble in inorganic solvents and insoluble in water. The carotenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons, absorb blue and green light and transmit yellow and red light. The greatest function of these carotenoids is to protect chlorophyll molecules from photooxidation. These pigments are also known to absorb light and transfer energy to chlorophyll. It is generally accepted that most of the carotenes are present in pigment system first and xanthophylls in pigment system second. Now this is the structure of carotene. Now third number of photosynthetic pigment is phycobilins. The phycobilins constitute a major group of photosynthetic pigments occurring in blue-green algae and red algae. The phycobilins are of two types, the phycoerythrin, red pigments, and phycocyanin, blue pigment. These are protein-linked pigment destroyed by heat. These water-soluble pigments are localized in small granules attached to the lamella. Like chlorophyll, these pigments are open tetraphylar but do not contain magnesium and phytolchin. Both type of pigments absorb light and help in photosynthesis. See, this is the structure of phycobilins. Now, the number 2 is carbon dioxide. It is required for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is present in the air we breathe at every low concentrations, even though it forms about 0.04% of the air. It is a needed factor in light independent photosynthesis. Plants get carbon dioxide from the air through their leaves. The carbon dioxide diffuses through small holes in the underside of leaf called stomata. The lower part of the leaf has loose fitting cells to allow carbon dioxide to reach the other cells in the leaf. This also allows the oxygen produced in photosynthesis to leave the leaf easily. Now this is the structure of transfer structure TS of leaf. Now the upper surface, this is the lower surface. Now during the opening of stomata, carbon dioxide enter into the leaf, and during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is synthesized and oxygen is released from leaf to atmosphere. Next requirement is water. Water is also required for the process of photosynthesis. Plants also require water to make their food. Depending on the environment, a plant access to water will vary. For example, desert plants like a cactus have less availability water than the lily pad in the pond. But every photosynthetic organism has some sort of adaptations or special structure designed to collect water. For most plants, roots are responsible for absorbing water. Now, last product of required product for photosynthesis is sunlight. The sun, the energy from light causes a chemical reaction that break down the molecules of carbon dioxide and water and reorganize them to make sugar and oxygen gas. After the sugar is produced, it is then broken down by the mitochondria into energy that can be used for growth and repair of plants. Now, this is the picture of electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is the range of frequencies of electromagnetic radiation and their respective wavelengths and photon energy. Now, this is the cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, microwaves, and radio waves. From sun, number of wavelengths are emitted, but only the visible light is useful for the photosynthesis, and the range of visible light is 380 nanometers. That means 400 nanometers to 700 nanometer of light. And now that light is known as visible light. It contains 7 various colors, and that light is useful for photosynthesis. This frequency range is divided into separate bands, and the electromagnetic waves within each frequency band are called by different names. Beginning at the low frequency, long wavelength, end of the spectrum, these are radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. At the high frequency, short wavelength. Above infrared in frequency comes visible light. In between ultraviolet and infrared, the visible light is present. The wavelength of visible light is 380 to 780 nanometer of light, and that light is useful for the process of photosynthesis. The solar radiation entering our Earth atmosphere undergoes major modifications. The total irradiance from the sun coming at the upper boundary of the atmosphere is 1.360 watts per square meter. 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second. This radiance includes ultraviolet and infrared wavelengths. Of this, only about 900 watts per square meter reach plants because the rest of absorbed or scattered by water vapors, dust, carbon dioxide, and ozone present in the atmosphere. Our atmosphere thus provides a window through which visible wavelengths pass onto the various life forms of the biosphere. Therefore, the plants receive about 400 to 500 watt per square meter photosynthetically active radiation from the sun. The biological system make most effective use of visible band, that means 380 to 780 nanometer of radiation. The wavelength band most effective for photosynthesis falls in the same band which has the greatest response in animal vision. Thank you.